taxes paid by these suppliers. And this is prompted, Mr. Chairman, by the revelation done by Shushu Construction Machinery in the last hearing. Kung inyo pong maalala, noong nakaraang pagdidinig, ang kumpanyang Shushu Construction Machinery Corporation, inamin, hindi po sila nagbayad ng income taxes. Ni piso po, magkano po ka ng kontrata? 2 bilyon, 23 milyon, 2 billion 230 million ang kanilang kontrata na inaward noong panahon ng dating Undersecretary Lloyd Christopher Lau. Hindi po nagbayad, ni piso. 2 billion 230 million ang kontrata nila. It is in this context, Mr. Chairman, with the permission of my colleagues, that I will ask that we look into the tax liabilities of these contractors. To put it in context, we should not forget that 42 billion was transferred by the Department of Health to ps-dbm, which was flagged by the COA. We assume that the 42 billion was totally disbursed by the ps-dbm and paid to the suppliers to purchase face masks, face shields, PPEs, and other medical supplies. Ang tanong po, doon sa 42 billion na dinisburse ng ps-dbm sa mga suppliers, magkanong buwis ang binayad nitong mga suppliers na ito? How much income taxes were paid by the suppliers who got a total of 42 billion in supply contracts from the government? In my computation, Mr. Chairman, there is a potential tax intake or income of approximately 7.5 billion pesos. I repeat, Mr. Chairman, subject to further verification, potentially out of the 42 billion in supply contract awarded by ps-dbm, the suppliers is supposed to have paid 7.5 billion pesos in income taxes. How did we arrive at that? 42 billion. If you deduct from 42 billion, 40%, which is the optional standard deduction allowed by the BIR for corporations, you would have a presumptive net taxable income of 25 billion, 25.2 billion to be more precise. And at a 30% income tax rate, 30% of 25 billion is 7.5 billion pesos. I am not saying, Mr. Chairman, that this is the tax due. I am just saying that potentially there is an income tax due of 7.56 billion pesos as a result of 42 billion in contracts awarded by the ps-dbm. In fact, talking about that, Mr. President, on another matter, the Right to Know Right Now Coalition, using GPPB data, tracked that about 62 billion were awarded to supply under supply agreements under Bayanihan 1 and Bayanihan 2. But that is a completely separate story. What we're just looking for right now is the 42 billion, which was disbursed by ps-dbm to the suppliers of these medical supplies. Ang tanong, Mr. Chairman, nagbayad ba po sila ng tamang buwis? Magkano po ang binayad nila? Halimbawa, ang Pharmally, 10.4 billion ang nakuhang kontrata. Magkano binayad na income taxes? Yung Element Trade Limited, 6.99 billion. How much in income taxes did it pay? SunWest Construction and Development Corporation, 5.22 billion. 5 billion 220 million. How much taxes, income taxes did it pay? Shushu, as admitted, they got a contract of 2.2 billion 230 million. They did not pay a single centavo in income taxes. A corporation named Hafid in Erasmus Corporation. Contract 1,091,910 million. How much income taxes did it pay? Mr. Chairman, Mr. President Duterte is always telling the public that hirap na hirap ang pamahalaan, wala pong pambayad, kaya po yung ayuda ay hindi po nabibigay. Yun pong pambili ng bakuna, 45 billion. Nasa ang program fund, ibig sabihin, walang pundo doon po sa 45 billion para sa pambili ng bakuna. Ay hindi po pa tama lamang. Natingnan natin doon po sa magandang mga kontrata na nakuha ng lahat ng suppliers, 42 billion. Pagkano bang binayad nilang income tax? Ang sabi ni Mr. Han, for Shushu, wala po silang binayad ni piso. Kaya po, apart from the overpricing, apart from unqualified suppliers being given the contract, apart from the preference to foreign suppliers, I think it is incumbent upon this committee to look into the taxes paid by these suppliers. It is in this context, Mr. Chair, that I move that the income tax returns which were provided by the BIR to the committee, which under the law should be given in executive session, should be made public because of what we have learned so far, and by under our rules of procedure governing inquiries in aid of legislation. It provides that testimony taken or material presented in executive session or any summary thereof shall not be made public in whole or in part unless authorized by the committee. That's our rule, Mr. Chairman. And therefore, on this basis, I therefore move that any and all documents submitted by the BIR pertaining to the returns to the income tax, to the returns of the following persons be made public pursuant to Section 11, Paragraph 3 of the Senate Rules of Procedure governing inquiries in aid of legislation. Mr. Chairman, these are, number one, the income tax return of Pharmally, Inc. and its officers, employees, including Mohit Dargani, Twinkle Dargani, Lincoln Ong, and Justine Garani. The income tax return of Yang Hong Ming, the income tax return of Rose Nono Lin, and the tax returns of Zuzu Construction Machinery Group. I so move, Mr. Chairman.
I second the motion, Mr. Chairman.
We should reveal to the public the tax returns of these people. I know this was supposed to be an executive session, but this was supposed to be materials for the executive session that was discussed. And since we have already been able to take a look at all this, and in as much as Section 7 of the Constitution provides the right of the people to information on matters of public concern shall be recognized. Access to official records and to documents and papers pertaining to official acts, transactions, or decisions, as well as to government research data used as basis for policy development, shall be afforded the citizen, subject to such limitations as may be provided by law. The Senate is empowered, the committee is empowered to declassify this information on the basis of the motion right now of President Minority Floor Leader Senator Drilon, and has been properly seconded by the gentle lady from Panay Island and from Rizal and other areas. Are there any objections to this motion? There being none, the motion is carried, and the proper orders will be done right away, and they should be able to publish all this documentation. And it is my hope that the BIR will continue to supply us with the necessary information. Senator Drilon? So
Yes,
ordered.
consistent with that last statement of the chairman, may I also move that the committee adopts a resolution urging the Bureau of Internal Revenue to form a task force for the specific purpose of a special audit on the returns made by the suppliers of the medical supplies worth 42 billion. I so move, Mr. Chairman. This is a simple motion urging the BIR, consistent with the opening statement of the chairman, that they should give special attention to this.
I join the minority floor leader, and I'd like to say I just want to expand it to all those who were partook of this money that was for the pandemic appropriated by the Congress properly, and I'd like to expand that into that area as well. Is there any second to the motion as explained by the chairman?
I second the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded. And are there no objections? There being no objections, the same is approved. And right away, we urge the BIR that to take urgent notice of this and urgently act on all these matters so that we can finally get to the bottom of this. Is there any comment from Senator Lacson on the matter? Senator Lacson, do you have any comment? I just saw your picture. I don't know whether you were able to.
No, just checking the rules of the Senate, and the minority leader is correct. The motion which has been seconded is proper, Mr. Chairman, because the committee can authorize to make public testimonies or documents made in an executive session. So I support the motion of the Senator Drilon, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Lacson. Just to be sure, gusto natin sabihin sa publiko, pinag-aralan po lahat ito at talagang nakikita talaga, nakakaiba talaga nangyayari na talagang kung hindi natin gagalawin ito, ay makakatakbo na naman ito at makakaalpas. At hindi natin po dapat payagan itong mga bagay na ganito. And also, in addition to that, I urge the Customs Department as well as the appropriate authorities at LTO to find out itong mga kotse na binili nila at madadagdagan pa ngayong meeting na ito kung saan talaga binili yan, kung pumasok yan formally o pinasok yan na smuggled, at para malaman natin kung talagang nanakawan na naman tayo hindi lang sa mga gamot at hindi lang sa mga vaccines at saka sa mga PPE, saka sa mask, ngunit pati sa buwis na binanggit na ni Senator Drilon at saka na Senator Antiveros at Senator Lacson and the representation, ngunit pati na rin doon sa ibang mga fruits of the corruption, katulad dito mga kotse at mga bahay. So I'd like to urge the Customs Commissioner, I'm sure they're all listening, to do that. Concomitant with that, I'm sure the members of the committee realize that we're being watched by all these government agencies, from the Department of Justice to the Ombudsman and to all the BIR. And I understand the Ombudsman is already initiating certain investigation. I hope that is the case. And also, BIR, I understand, is already pursuing leads coming out of that, and we thank them for that. And I hope it will be like the RITM that investigated the Subic laboratory that was, I understand, being forced to come out with a negative report. Eventually came out with a positive report that everything done in the test was good. I urge them to do so in the interest of the Republic, in the interest of the suffering people of this country. Having said that, go ahead, Senator Drilon, you have a comment? I can see your hand being raised.
As a supplemental motion that these government agencies who we requested to make the appropriate investigation, particularly the BIR and the Customs, be required to submit the results of their investigation to this committee as part of our effort to look for what possible laws and legislation we can pass in order that this will not be repeated again. Thank you very much, Mr. President, Mr. Chairman.
I second the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Was there a motion? If there is a motion, then I will. Was there a motion?
Yes, the motion to require
Yes.
the government agencies conducting the investigation to provide the committee copies of their of the results of their investigation.
Thank you. And it should be a periodic report so that every time we have a hearing, maybe we can see what's happening. If I may amend that properly. Do you accept the amendment, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Sponsor?
Accepted, yes.
All right. Senator Cantiveros has already accepted it.
Motion, yes, as amended.
There is no objection on the members, and the motion is carried without any objection. Let the appropriate manifestations be sent to the agencies concerned so that they can move post haste. Mabilis na lang magawa ng paraan itong ginagawa ito because ang order so far ng Presidente at di pa tayo nakakapunta sa Supreme Court at papunta na tayo ron ay for their appearance. Pero hindi nangangahulugan yung mga dokumento at investigasyon nila ay mapipigilan itong pagpigil o pagposa sa ating investigasyon ng Pangulo ng Republika ng Pilipinas. Ang nangyayari dito ngayon ay talagang maganda sa demokrasya yan na matututuhan ng tao na walang isang tao lamang ang pwedeng humadlang sa katarungan at katotohanan at lumalaman rin ang inyong Senado, ang inyong Kongreso. Even I'm sure in the House of Representatives there are people who want this, but there are also certain people that I call jukeboxers na pag hinulugan mo ay tutugtog ng tugtog ng mga talagang matatapang na tumanggap ng pera sa mga tao na talagang katiwalian. Kaya natutugso sila. Hindi naman lahat ng House of Representatives ay kasing sama itong mga ginagawa nito. Kaya ang tukso sa kanila ay sila ay member ng House of Representatives. Ilang gusto ko sabihin. Pamisa-misa naman dapat makatikim ng konti para matauhan at may masmasan yung mga mahilig magsalita para lang lumakas sila sa Pangulo. Having said that, we shall now proceed with the investigation. Are there anybody? We shall now call on the following are supposed to be in orders: Senator Soto, Senator Drilon, Senator Marcos, Senator Rivera, Senator Go, and Senator Lacson, in that order. In the meantime, we can call other witnesses if, right now, if we will. I'd like to call Mr. Michael Young, if that is all right with the other members of the committee, and they're free to take the initial questions if they will. I will follow up lang later on. Mr. Michael Young, you're there. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
没内马是请给我，
谢谢你，谢谢你，谢谢你，谢谢你。
谢谢，Thank you。
Thank you, thank you. Any questions? The other one before I proceed?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, may I be allowed to make a PowerPoint presentation on the taxes that are supposed to be paid, which presentation is based on the submissions of the BIR to this committee. With your permission, Mr. Chairman, may I make public and present the potential tax liabilities that we can look at in the course of our investigation.
Mr. Yang, Paisi. You understand me? Paisi. I just have to provide the senator an opportunity to show what is happening. Are able to be asked questions. It's ng Paisi, nakikiraan ako. Okay. Go ahead, Senator Drilon.
Thank you. Can I ask my staff to share on the screen the summary of the tax records based on the relevant submissions by the BIR to this committee? Mr. Chairman, may I present the summary of the tax records based on the relevant submissions made by the BIR to this committee? Yes. Mr. Mohit Dargani. For the taxable year 2018, we have no information as to what taxes he paid. In 2019, he paid income tax of 22,062 pesos. In 2020, the taxable income cannot be read on the basis of the submission, but it appears that Mr. Dargani paid 92,241 pesos, And the BIR noted suspended status. We do not know exactly what that means. But
Just a correction, sir, if I heard you correctly, you said 92,000. The PowerPoint presents 97,000.
I'm sorry, 97,241 pesos. Madam Twinkle Dargani in 2018 only paid 29,187. In 2019, there is no information available in these submissions to this committee. In 2020, Ms. Dargani paid exactly 1,000 pesos as taxes. Now, Mr. Huang Chuyen, who is, if I recall correctly, the president of Pharmally, there are no records available for the taxable year 2019 up to the present. The BIR does not have any record of any of the taxes paid. And here is the certification issued by BIR Revenue Region number 7, District Officer number 39 in South Quezon City, and it reads for the record, this is to certify Huang Chuyen with TIN number 752-996-875-000 has no record available for the taxable year 2019 up to the present, validated through the returns processing system, tax accounting system of the integrated tax system database of this bureau. Furthermore, our registration system reveals that the aforementioned taxpayer has been registered under Executive Order 98 with registration date of September 24, 2019. So Mr. Huang Chuyen has no record whatsoever of the any taxes paid from the certification of the BIR. Formally, Mr. Chairman, in their 2020 income tax return, Pharmally claimed a credit of 96,089,293 pesos. Its tax due for 2020 was negative 589 pesos 163 centavos. So this is something that we have to look at. Mayroon pa pong reimbursement, the refund claim. If this is correct, may refund claim pa po na 589 pesos 163 pesos. Yan po ang utang ng pamahalaan sa Pharmally, isang ayon sa Pharmally.
You mean 589,163 pesos, sir? Not 589 pesos, 589,163.
Subject to, because the what do you call this, the submission to us is not clear. It could be 588 pesos 588,163. But the subject to verification. But the point is, they are claiming
Utang pang gobyerno.
may utang pang pamahalaan sa kanila. Next slide, please. Okay, Mr. Michael Young, interesting. The internal revenue returns, income tax returns for taxable years 2017 and prior years were not filed. No income tax return filed. This is based on the verification made by the district collections section and the income tax returns for 2014 to 2017 could not be found in the records of the BIR. And this is from years 2014 to 2017. In 2018, the taxable income of Mr. Young was at 208,000 and the taxes paid in 2018 was 7,600 pesos. In 2019 and 2020, we're sorry, but the records are not readable. Next slide, please. This is a certification of the BIR, Revenue Region number 10, Davao City, that Mr. Michael Young did not file income tax returns for the taxable years 2014 to 2017. The same certification is being shown on the screen that Mr. Young did not file for the taxable years 2017 and prior years. Next slide, please. Again, this is something interesting. This is Tiger Marketing Corporation. In 2017, the taxable income was only 7,447. The taxes paid, 2,234. In 2018, the taxable income was 305,913. Tax paid, 91,774. In 2019, taxable income, 235,172. Taxes paid, 70,552. In 2020, initially the taxable income declared was 129,742 and the taxes paid was 38,923. Noong sinita po nitong committee ito ang kanilang income when they were subjected to questions from the committee, suddenly they amended their income tax returns and declared a taxable income of 3,263,671, and they paid taxes of 1,138,680.05 centavos. This alone proves, Mr. Chairman, na may nagagawa ding mabuti ang ating committee sa pagdidinig na ginagawa natin. Nagkakaroon ng bagong buwis na binabayaran ang mga kumpanyang kagaya ng Tigerfield Manufacturing Corporation, nagbayad ng 1 milyon, mahigit sa 1 milyon, dahil po tinatanong sila sa committee kung ano ang nangyayari. Next slide, please. If that is all, yes. Okay, the next slide. Green Trends Trading International. This is the supplier of Tigerfield. There is no income tax return filed during the taxable year 2015 to 2021. Zuso Construction Machinery Group, Import and Export Company Limited. There is no income tax return available for the taxable periods 2017 up to the present. The Green Trends Trading International did not file income tax returns during the taxable years 2015 to 2021. And finally, Mr. Lloyd Christopher Lau. In 2017, he did not earn any taxable income and therefore paid 0 taxes. In 2018, the income tax returns were filed through the e-BIR Forms online facility, but this could not be viewed by the BIR. In 2020, he did not file any income tax return. Next. And this is the certification issued by the BIR Region number 19 in Davao City, which certifies that Mr. Lloyd Christopher Lau did not file his 2020 income tax return. Okay. So note that Pharmally in their ITR claimed a tax credit of 96,089,293 pesos. They did not pay any tax. Most of the ITRs were either not filed, unreadable, or incomplete. The ITRs of the Darganis are incomplete and have several unreadable portions, but the taxable incomes and taxes paid appear to be very low, especially that considering that they were able to buy luxury cars during the relevant periods. Mr. Ong's ITRs are all unreadable. Tigerfield's taxable income from 2017 to 2019 may be underdeclared considering the big jump in taxable income for 2020, which return they amended after the revelations at the Blue Ribbon Committee. Shushu has no ITR from 2017 to 2021. We are presenting all of this, Mr. Chairman, because under the law and under the regulations, those who bid for the supply of medical supplies, PPE, etc., should submit a certification of the taxes paid, etc. So this again would indicate the need for us to closely review